Good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of WCNC Charlotte To Go. Recovery in Florida has just begun for communities across the state following Hurricane Milton. Officials have confirmed at least 14 people were killed after the Category 3 storm made landfall Wednesday night. The hurricane also brought with it a record number of tornadoes causing widespread damage across the state. The National Weather Service calling the rainfall totals in Tampa a 1 in 1,000 year event. And we just checked, and more than 2 million Floridians are still waking up in the dark this morning. Energy companies, including Duke Energy, which services millions in the Sunshine State, say they are working to restore power to homes as quickly as possible. But officials warn some people could remain in the dark for up to a week. Well, FEMA says there are more than 1,000 federal personnel on the ground in Florida in the wake of Milton, but there are growing concerns about how long the agency can keep up. While money is one problem FEMA is facing, they also say staffing is beginning to run thin. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has the details this morning.
FEMA is stretched thin, the agency blowing through nearly half of its money for the next year in just 8 days.
How concerning is that?
It is very concerning, but let me be clear. We can meet the immediate needs.
A lot of storm surge. It's rough. Very rough.
FEMA's responding not only to hurricanes Milton and Helene.
To get FEMA to reimburse you for your damage, you have to have documentation.
But also flooding in Vermont, tornadoes in Kansas, and more than 500 other open disasters dating back years. Just 8% of its highly trained workforce is listed as available.
What worries me most about the staffing levels is just with so many disasters happening at the same time that they're going to run out of people.
Meanwhile, President Biden with this message to former President Trump about storm misinformation.
Former President Trump, get a life, man. Help these people.
The former president in battleground Michigan slamming Vice President Harris's record on the cost of living.
The economy has been a total disaster. But Kamala says that she can't think of one thing that she would do differently.
Harris's team is having former President Obama campaign for them in critical Pennsylvania, fresh off his convention speech.
America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
As for the storm response, President Biden says FEMA has enough money for now, but he's pleading with Congress to set aside more for small business disaster loans.
All right, so Larry, it's out of Florida now.
Totally gone. In fact, where it is right now is forecast to be near Bermuda, and that's exactly where it is right now. And that is good news because it's out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It continues to move due east and will be out, way out. And what's going to happen probably over the next 10 days at least, we're not looking at any tropical possibilities. The ocean, our environment is much more conducive to calmer weather, and that is good news.
That is good news. Yeah. Speaking of hurricane season, of course, a lot of people here still recovering from Hurricane Helene. Tickets are on sale now for the concert for Carolina. All proceeds for the show will be donated to relief efforts in Western North Carolina. There's an impressive list of artists performing, including Sheryl Crow, Keith Urban, Eric Church, Luke Combs. You see James Taylor. The names aren't matching up with the video, but so many amazing artists. The concert happening on October 26th. Tickets, well, we're hearing some tickets going for about $2,000. You got to be careful during these for scams and stuff. One of our directors got it for $100. They saw some more tickets kind of in the nosebleed section, but for $60. So hopefully they can raise a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah. And that lineup of artists, you'll never see that group together again. Even with James Taylor, who obviously spent much of his life, most of his early life in North Carolina, around the Chapel Hill area. So.
Yeah.
Out of the group, I like Sheryl Crow.
Oh, I know. Wow.
Yes. When she was added, I was
Keith Urban in there? I mean, the two of them?
I'm not a big country music person, honestly, but I think this is really great that they're doing still.
You go to that show, you'll become a fan.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
The vibes will be great.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Of course, we'll see you back here on Monday morning. Have a great weekend.